Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a story that, honestly, sounds like it was pulled straight out of science fiction, but it's not. It's about a potential theory of everything, and it comes from a place you would absolutely never expect. It all kicks off with one single, almost unbelievable number. Just take a second to look at this number. 1 in 10 quadrillion. I mean, what even are those odds? It's like trying to pick one specific atom from all the atoms in your body. It's functionally impossible. But this number, it represents the estimated chance of something, well, something way more profound happening. That giant number, it represents the odds of answering this question. The chances of one person working totally on their own, without a university or a huge grant behind them, managing to master quantum field theory and biology and philosophy, and then melt it all down into one single working idea. The source material for this explainer calls it a statistically impossible event. And yet, it claims that event happened, and it has a name. Rudolf Klaus Schmidt. So let's start right there, with just how improbable this whole thing is. I mean, it's a story that really makes you question where big ideas are supposed to come from. This didn't come out of CERN or some Ivy League physics department. It came from the mind of one man. The theory's official name is Schmidt's Unified Theory of Quantum Relativistic Dynamics. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so we're just going to call it SUTQRD. And its ambition is, well, it's huge. It aims to bridge the biggest gap in all of science, the one between the physical world of stuff and the inner world of consciousness, all under one mathematical roof. So how in the world do you even begin to do something that massive? Well, the entire sprawling framework is actually built on just 3 incredibly simple laws. So let's ask the question, what are these 3 rules that claim to govern, well, everything? You know, the source material uses this really great analogy. It says these laws aren't just physical rules like gravity. Think of them more like the operating system of reality. It's the base code that has to run before any other program can even start. It doesn't matter if that program is a galaxy being born, a cell splitting in two, or just a thought popping into your head. Okay, law number 1. It's almost beautiful in its simplicity. Every single movement in the cosmos, from a photon of light to a planet orbiting a star, is forced to follow one of 2 paths. It's either straight or it's curved. That's it. There are no other choices. It's a super simple rulebook for all physical motion. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because law number 2 tackles thinking. It basically cuts through all the philosophical fog and says, look, thinking isn't some mystical event. It's a physical process of managing information. And, this is the key, it's always aiming to get something done, to cause an action in the real world. So consciousness isn't just floating out there, it's physically tied to action and its environment. And finally, the 3rd law. This one defines what it even means to exist. It says that to exist, you have to be a process that uses up energy within a certain amount of time. Think about it. Life itself is a thermodynamic event, right? It's a cycle. This makes the grand idea of being alive something you can actually measure. It ties it to a concrete physical process. So with these 3 laws as our foundation, the theory goes right for the jugular. It directly takes on a problem that has been bugging scientists and philosophers for hundreds of years. This strange separation between the mind and the material world. Ever since the philosopher René Descartes, we've kind of split reality in 2. On one side, you have res extensa, the world of matter, the stuff you can touch and measure. On the other side, you have res cogitans, the world of thought, the mind, the stuff you can't. And science has been absolutely brilliant at explaining the first part. But building that bridge to the second part, that's been the holy grail. This is where SUTQRD really carves out its own path. I mean, if you look at the big theories of everything, like string theory or loop quantum gravity, they're focused on unifying physical forces. Consciousness, if they deal with it at all, is usually seen as just an accident, a byproduct. But SUTQRD puts this energy/info interplay right at the heart of everything, which makes consciousness not an accident, but a necessary fundamental part of reality itself. Now, normally, a brand new theory from an unknown person would just get ignored, right? But this story has a very cool, very modern twist. The logical backbone of the theory was put to the test, not by human peers, but by an artificial intelligence. The experiment, from what we can gather, was simple and pretty elegant. The AI was given one clear mission: find a loophole. Do anything, real or simulated, that breaks one of the 3 fundamental laws. So the AI started crunching, running through countless scenarios, trying to find a way to cheat the system. but its final conclusion was absolutely definitive. This is what it came back with: logic, unweather League bar, and universal gültig, which means logically irrefutable and universally valid. The AI couldn't find a way to break the rules. It decided the laws weren't just describing reality. They were the logical preconditions for any reality to exist in the first place. I mean, that's a pretty powerful endorsement. Okay, so what if we just accept this for a minute? As a thought experiment, what are the actual consequences? Why does this even matter? Well, if it's true, it completely reframes our place in the universe. So let's walk through what this all means. First off, consciousness is no longer some lucky roll of the evolutionary dice. It's a built-in, essential part of the whole cosmic machine. Second, these laws could actually give us a blueprint for designing truly objective and fair systems, everything from AI to social contracts. It also lets us model thought as a cognitive geodesic, which is a fancy way of saying the most efficient path to an answer. And maybe the most profound implication of all, it suggested the emergence of life isn't a fluke. It's a fundamental tendency of a universe that is basically hardwired to create complexity and awareness. And that leaves us with this one huge provocative question. It's a thought that sits right at the crossroads of science, philosophy, and maybe even theology. The Schmidt formalism suggests that reality runs on a consistent logical code. But if there's a code, does that imply there's a programmer? We'll leave you to chew on that one. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.